Hello and welcome to everybody to our first ever LinkedIn series where we look to speak to tech leaders around the Middle East to get their take on the current tech landscape, future trends, and essentially all things technology. For our inaugural episodes, I have the privilege to speak to Mo, who is the VP of Technology at Aramex, and we're going to be discussing culture, talent, and Mo's advice to software developers in general. Mo is a senior tech leader who essentially has a stellar track record of managing strong and successful teams over the course of his experience working for top companies in Canada and in Dubai. And personally, is one of my favorite people to speak to about technology. So thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Mo.
Thank you. It was very kind of you, and it's a real pleasure to be here.
So, Mo, let's start off with obviously the first question, which I think is your favorite as well. Over the course of the last few years, you've obviously had your fair share of experience in leading a big team.
Mhm.
Now, what do you think can tech leaders do to improve the culture and the environment of their current software development team?
Mhm. Excellent question, and I mean we can't emphasize enough how important culture and environment are in the grand scheme of things to the success of an organization or a function within it. But there are there are a few different things that we could talk about, but I wanted to kind of emphasize on simple ones that are critical. Starting with as a tech leader, you need to be able to lead by example. So if you're in charge of whether it's a development team and IT operations, data engineering, etc., you need to be an example. You need to be sort of the person that your team will look up to, and the team will have the faith and sort of the comfort that you're going to be able to help them sort of overcome challenges, achieve strategies, be there and sort of unblock their way from any obstacles. And um, if they see a disconnect between the tech leadership or whoever's sitting in the leadership position and a team, this is where lots of trouble kind of comes in and start to be infested into the overall team. So lead by example. Don't be afraid to show your techie, even if your tech sort of stack is not up to date to the latest minute as your top guns on a team, but show that you're there, because in technology and computing, there are so many abstract level sort of thoughts that can still be beneficial to your team. So you can help them get unstuck from a certain problem. Again, no matter how what the stack is, you can give the perspective of not being in the weeds every day on certain challenges, and just kind of whiteboard it with them and actually help them overcome a situation or a problem. So that's very key, and it's good for you as a leader as well, because you'll kind of continue to be up to date, and again gets your team to kind of go behind you anywhere you go. The other really important part, this is kind of a foolproof, fail-safe method of use over use. It's often ignored, and it's unfortunate that it is ignored, but it's a very quick win, which is connect your team to the strategy of the company, of the organization. Your job as a leader is to be contributing to the overall strategy, supporting your organization strategy, coming up with your team strategy overall in support of the organization. But do not underestimate the power that lies in explaining how a simple development task or an IT operation task or data science task really leads the company, helps the company achieve its objectives. And the job of a tech leader in this case is really to distill the various bits, because it could be overwhelming. Business speak is a bit overwhelming sometimes, but simplification is key to help kind of answer for the developer, what's in it for me? How can I be contributing to this? This really transforms their work from expecting or waiting for what needs to be done to understanding why they need to do it. And for me, that was one of the key sort of eye openers years ago, where it's kind of has a magical effect when you see how, when you entrust your team and trust them into understanding the strategy and connect them with that, they really feel bought in. They really feel part of the company overall, part of the team, and it starts really to deliver on that strategy. So that's one key item there. simple, some other simple things that the tech leader can do is, this is very overlooked as well, unfortunately, but a simple thank you, recognition. Obviously, you got to be able to establish for a team a recognition system. You got to work with your HR partners, etc. But do not underestimate the power of saying thank you. If you've got a team that just rolled out a system overnight, the next morning you see them smile and say, "Thanks, team. Well done. Very proud of you." These are simple words that really they need to come from you. Obviously, when you've got constant achievements you're delivering always constantly, you kind of forget, and you might think to yourself, well, I can't be saying thank you all the time, because they will really appreciate that, and that will fuel them for saying, listen, we were up till 3-4 a.m. rolling out something huge, and yes, we're going to be recognized formally, maybe or maybe not, but at least our leader sees that, and our leader's got our back, and he's thankful for it. So that's one part. Give your team the ability to understand what it is to grow. I have this discussion with whether it's developers, whether it's regardless of the role of technology, they'll come to me and say, well, how do I get to manager level? How do I get to a leadership level? What if I don't want to be a manager? What does the future look like for me as a technologist? What are the different paths out there? And being in a tech leadership position, you have the benefit of seeing these paths, because you've gone through one of these paths and you've evaluated these paths before, and you've applied your own sort of growth to it. So it's very invaluable for them. They seek that sort of, okay, where's the goalpost and how do I get there, and who can help me get there? So if you explain that to them as well, they will have this sense of, okay, I'm connected to strategy, I'm helping the company, and I know where I'm going with my life. And these are simple, and I'm appreciated. These are simple sort of components to building this engaged culture that will help you achieve your objectives as a leader.
It builds an engaged culture, but more to that as well, you get trustworthy and loyal employees as well if you do these things.
Absolutely. Well said.